High school football is back in full gear, and we have got something new for you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Football, the fifth quarter. This is the maiden voyage of this show. And listen, those of you who have watched WFAA know that we've done something similar like this, but we're featuring perennial state contenders tonight, and we're also doubling down on the number of highlights we try and give you, the analysis, and we're doing it right here on WFAA Plus. Have a little more time here, a little room to breathe, if you will, and a chance to give you all that Friday night goodness that so many of you love. So it's more Friday Night Lights, and that's what the fifth quarter is all about. And listen, I'm at Tim Buchanan Stadium here in Alto. We had a heavyweight showdown between a couple of great programs, the Denton Guyer Wildcats taking on the Alto Bearcats, and this one turned out to be a pretty darn good football game that literally ended just moments ago. We've also got our WFAA sports team out in full force all throughout the area. Perhaps some of you watch on WFAA Plus and saw Friday Night Football, where it was Frisco Lone Star taking on Argyle with Mike Leslie on the call there. We've also got Michelle Montaigne. She's covering Galena Park North Shore taking on South Oak Cliff. What an incredible ball game that turned out to be. But first, let's get you the highlights from right here, right now. Alto and Denton Guyer. This turned out to be a defensive battle early in this ball game. The Bearcats would open the scoring, though, with the senior running back, Brady Powell. He finds a small crease, powers into the zone, and that makes it 7-zip late in the first. Pick it up in the second quarter now. Alto quarterback, Nash McElry, scanning the field, but he gets picked off by the Wildcats' Jalen Sterling. Wildcats had a field goal attempt blocked. They get no points out of that, although they were deep in enemy territory. Alto back on the prowl then. Check out the great cutback by Caden Winkfield. 21 yards for the touchdown. 14-zip was the halftime lead. Guyer gets it going after the break. A minute into the third quarter, Caden Cobbs finds room coming right into your living room. That touchdown made it 14-7. Bearcats have the answer, though. Winkfield again churning into the zone. That made it 21-7. It got close, but the Bearcats hang on to win it. Alto takes it 21-14. I caught up with the winning head coach, Robbie Jones, afterward. Coach, just talk about the importance of getting it done on week one. Doesn't have to be pretty, just needs to be a W.
Right. We always schedule a really good football opponent, that first week. Denton Guyer, we have battles with them every time we play them. So we knew it was going to be a tough, hard-fought game, and we're lucky to come out on top.
Can you talk about the quarterback play? I know they're trying to get their sea legs still. What'd you think about it, and what do you have to do moving forward?
Yeah, I thought they competed hard, and that's what we want out of our quarterbacks, go out there and compete. We still got to clean some things up with them. We got to get, early, first game jitters, got us. We had to burn some timeouts early, got to delay a game. But those guys are going to get better as the year moves on.
And the last thing about the community of Alto and the way it comes out on these Friday Night Lights, there's a reason I'm here, Coach, and you guys do it right. Can you talk about that?
I mean, it's a great community. It's a community of winners. Everybody in this community expects to win in everything that we do, and that includes life. These guys go out and they become big-time, businessmen, doctors, lawyers, all those things. So, it's a great community. It's a great community to raise kids in, and we're going to try to keep the Bearcat tradition going.
Yeah, listen, it's a great community for high school football as well. A record 12 state championships for this Alto team. It was a very difficult ball game tonight because it was really defensive-minded, and it seemed as though Alto really had dictated the action in this one, and they controlled it. But late in this game, the Denton Guyer Wildcats just kept fighting. They kept coming back, and they made it a one-score game with about 2 minutes left in this game, and they actually had the football and a chance to win it. But Alto's defense stepped up, stood tall, and they got the 21-14 win. A great win to start the season for those Alto Bearcats. All right, let's talk about Friday Night Football, which you'll also get a chance to watch here on WFAA Plus. It's set up shop. Mike Leslie did about an hour north of here. Argyle taking on Frisco Lone Star from my neck of the woods. And Mike, who was on that call, joins us now to break it all down. Mike?
Hey, Joe, thanks. Yeah, Frisco Lone Star looks awfully good this year. Jeff Rayburn's got a team that may be his best team since the one that went to the state championship game a decade ago in 2015 with Jason Shelley as the starting quarterback. They are bullish on what this team can do here in 2025, and they showed every bit of why tonight on the road against Argyle. Let's show you the highlights from this one tonight. And Carice Hoyt is the name to know this year for Frisco Lone Star. He started this game off in style, tipping the interception to himself, and that got the Lone Star defense off and running, and it set up just about a minute later. Trey Wright, the sophomore QB, looking up top, up the seam for Hoyt on a 52-yard touchdown hookup, and it was 7-0 Lone Star in the early going. Back comes Argyle, though. Logan Rexroad, who had 3 touchdown runs on the day, scores here from 5 yards away, and it was a 14-7 game. But Lone Star's offense is lethal, and the sophomore Trey Wright, the new QB, is really, really good. Here hits Hoyt again on the post pattern right before halftime. It was 26-7 Lone Star at halftime, and they weren't done. After the break, Hoyt scores again, his second touchdown run. He also had the 2 touchdown receptions, 4 scores in total. He had an interception. He recovered a fumble. Carice Hoyt did everything tonight, and Frisco Lone Star goes on the road and makes a statement. A 44-21 win tonight, Joe, on the road against a very good Argyle team. They looked sharp from the word go. The defense was good. The offense is electrifying. And they did all of this without Davian Gross, who may be their best player, the 4-star kid on his way to Florida. Joe, Lone Star is loaded for bear this year.
Yeah, and listen, Mike, you know I keep tabs with Lone Star because both my daughters graduated from Frisco Lone Star High School, so I'd read about all the D1 talent, but it certainly seems as though Jeff Rayburn is finding a way to put it all together, especially when you factor in the fact that Gross didn't play in that game. That is incredibly impressive right out of the gate.
Yeah. Yeah, because the thing that you need to know about this football team is Carice Hoyt was their starting quarterback a year ago. As a sophomore, captain as a sophomore, the unanimous district MVP as a sophomore. If he had wanted to, he could have been the starting quarterback all 3 years. Jeff Rayburn said, if he wanted that job, you've earned the opportunity. You've earned the right to say, you know what, this is my job. This is what I want to do. I'm staying at QB. But he knew about the talent they had coming up through, and Trey Wright was part of that equation. John Madden, a junior, also part of the equation. Both of them are going to play this year. But Trey Wright is the kid that is super special and has a ceiling that is through the roof, and we saw why tonight they made the change that they did. Carice Hoyt moving to running back, moving to wide receiver. He'll play safety on the other side of the ball. You saw the interception at the top of the highlight package. He's going to return punts for them. He's a fantastic football player. There's a reason why he had all the success he had last year. But Trey Wright is the real deal. This sophomore quarterback put on a show tonight. 436 combined yards of offense, 299 through the air, $137 on the ground, 4 combined touchdowns for him as well. This was a really, I beg your pardon, the 3 touchdown passes for Trey Wright, but still a special, special night from a young man that they've got big-time expectations for. And if this is who this kid's going to be, Lone Star's ceiling just went sky high. They are really, really good this year.
Yeah, Jeff Rayburn, when I see him at the Market Street, at the grocery store, he's going to be smiling. Last thing, before I let you go, Mike, just a quick preview, if you will, of next week's game on Friday Night Football.
Buddy, oh my goodness, did it ever get better? South Oak Cliff and Duncanville, we were fired up about that game to begin with, and I don't want to spoil what's coming here on Friday Night Football 5th quarter, but I will simply say this. Our expectation of that game just went through the roof. Duncanville hosting South Oak Cliff 1 week from tonight right here on Friday Night Football, and I will just leave it at that, Joe, and send it back to you.
I appreciate that. We're going to keep building that anticipation because that matchup next week will be delicious. Great stuff, Mike Leslie on Friday Night Football. All right, we have got more highlights for you. I'm not going to waste any time. Let's get right to it because we've got Colleyville Heritage taking on Red Oak. Those Hawks tonight. Let's get into those highlights. Red Oak QB Billy Middleton. As we take a look at the highlights here, Billy Middleton is going to throw a 12-yard pass to Braden Robinson. Braden Robinson, by the way, is a Notre Dame commit. Hawks take a 7-zip lead. Then later, Red Oak was trying to punt, but watch this. It's a bad snap, really bad snap. He rolled it back. The punter just has to cover it. Turns out to be a Colleyville Heritage safety. That made it 7-2. Next drive, Colleyville QB Bodie Weaver with a 47-yard touchdown pass to Connor Sufukahaski. I apologize if I just butchered that name. The PAT was no good. Colleyville actually led 8-7 at the half, but Red Oak takes over in the second half, and the Hawks go on to win that one. The final there was 20-11. All right, our next stop. This one is going to be a battle of a couple of teams who know all about winning state championships. It's South Oak Cliff taking on Galena Park North Shore. Our Michelle Montaigne was there for a fantastic night of football at Kincaid. Michelle?
It was fantastic, and Joe, I have to tell you, it was also unexpected. I appreciate Mike Leslie for not spoiling the surprise here at Kincaid Stadium, but as you said, this was a game that these two teams opened their season with last year, and it was a game that North Shore shut out the South Oak Cliff Golden Bears 38-0. Well, this season, they took that 38-point shutout personally, and we saw that right from the word go, especially with the start. They forced a North Shore 3-and-out, South Oak Cliff that is, then turned around and Jaden Williams hits Jalen Moore, and the Golden Bears led 7-0 after the first quarter. But then in the second, Williams goes back to his favorite guy, to Moore. Yet again, that wide receiver responsible for the first 3 South Oak Cliff touchdowns of the game. Those two would combine to pile on with this shock factor that we're all talking about. Mikhail Trotter said, "I'd like to get in on the action." He takes a handoff from 37 yards out to put the Golden Bears up 28-7 with a minute 23 to go in the first half. But this is North Shore, after all. Utah State commit Caleb Maryland, their quarterback, hits LaDamian DeFries for his first touchdown pass of the game, wouldn't be his last. They would make this one interesting late, but South Oak Cliff hangs on for a massive 10-point upset, and afterwards we asked Jason Todd to share his thoughts on the win.
Coach, people would consider this an upset, but with the way you guys played tonight, what do you think you told the rest of the state about what South Oak Cliff is this season?
I think we are. Our goal this year really was to come in and play not just division ball. You know, we want respect throughout the state of Texas, barring any classification. And I told them this is our chance this year. You know, last year we blew some opportunities. We had Duncanville a few years ago on the ropes. We let them off. But I told them we need to come out and make a statement for South Oak Cliff, and they planted our home this time, and we need to show the fight to protect our house.
You told them to go celebrate with their friends after that incredible win. A 38-point shutout last year. How can you describe the turnaround in just 1 year?
Hard work and dedication, kids being committed, coaches being committed, administration being committed. We all were locked in, and we had one goal, and that was to win, just like a family.
Yeah, we saw that commitment firsthand. I mean, this game was all South Oak Cliff from the jump. They dominated from start to finish, and even though North Shore pulled within, I think it was 4 late, I mean, this game was so impressive to watch from a South Oak Cliff standpoint. And, you know, Jason Todd talked about the reason why he schedules these really tough non-district slates, and it's because he wants his team to be ready to face any playoff team they end up facing in the postseason, and that has led them to 4 consecutive state title appearances. So, Joe, it seems to be working, and this time around they also seem to work things out a little earlier in the season and not face that 38-point shutout to open things up this time around.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I love the tough scheduling early in the season before you get into district play. Hang tight, Michelle. We'll talk to you in a few minutes. But back here in Alto, we are in Tim Buchanan Stadium. And I talked earlier about just the rich tradition that exists for this program with the state record 12 state football championships. And the man behind a lot of that winning was Coach Buchanan himself. I've known Coach for a long time, and I had a chance to catch up with him earlier tonight. The great Tim Buchanan joining me now. Coach, it's Friday night. It's week 1. Even though you're not on the sideline anymore, tell me about how the juices still get going, Coach.
Well, game day, they really get going. Now, Monday morning practices, I don't miss it a bit.
Can you talk about where this program has come, Coach, when you think about the 12 state championships and you have helped this community really rise up? What does it mean to you seeing it play out now?
Oh, you know, when I think about when I got here, we had 17 football players in the program. And what we've got today is unbelievable. And the way this community comes together and the way these kids work is unbelievable.
You know, that's why I love Friday Night Lights. It's why we do what we do here, and we want to show the world. We want to tell everyone about it. Can you talk about the community aspects and how that has helped really this entire area elevate thanks to what happens on Friday nights?
Well, especially in athletics, because, you know, the budgets aren't there for athletics. So our community has to, you know, with fundraisers and, you know, scoreboards, donate money and advertising on the scoreboards and that stuff. That's how we run our programs. And if it wasn't for our community, we couldn't run them.
I like this team, Coach. They're still plucky. They got that they're fundamentally sound. They're going to hit you. They're going to square up. What do you think?
I think we're good now. Quarterbacks are a little antsy in the beginning, but they both of them have settled down. We're going to be all right.
All right. Thanks so much, Coach. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Joe.
Yeah, Tim Buchanan, he's one of the great ones, and, you know, he has fostered this community, and it's kind of symbolic of what Friday Night Lights mean in our state, and it's why we're doing this program. We just want to shine a light on a lot of this positivity and how our community comes together on these Friday nights, and a coach like Tim Buchanan has really helped raise the level of not just here, but a lot of other places as well. All right, I'd love to bring back in Michelle and Mike, because, you know, this is our new Friday night reality. It's the fifth quarter where we get to, you know, a little more analysis. We get to chop it up a little more. We got a little more time. We're not constrained by the newscast because we're here on WFAA+. And I got to start with you, Michelle, because nobody saw your game playing out the way it did. And you got a chance to talk to Coach Todd. What are you going to remember most about this night?
I think just the way they commanded this win. It wasn't just that they squeaked out an upset victory. No, they dominated. Like I said, they led 28-7 with just over a minute to go in the first half. And I think the what he said at the very end was, you know, he felt disrespected almost by some of the chatter that was going on around the program, even though he's led this team to 4 straight state title appearances. He has 5 area top 100 recruits on this roster, and they made sure that you knew it. I mean, they were considered the underdog in this one, but they didn't act like it for 1 minute out on that field tonight. Even though North Shore did pull within 4 late, I mean, it was still South Oak Cliff from the word go. And I think it's not just the fact that they won, it was certainly the manner in which they did it. They led this entire game. And I think that is going to give them a lot of confidence. And it's a team who doesn't necessarily need all that much confidence to make it all the way in this division.
You know, it's great stuff, and it's a great example of when the coach has the full attention of his team. And listen, it doesn't matter how they're motivated, and they probably got motivated by some of the talk. There were some people who thought that Galena Park North Shore could just come in and blow them out. So it doesn't matter how you get the attention, but Jason Todd obviously did, and wow, did his team ever respond. And so now, Mike, now that we know how that game played out, let's talk a little bit about next week and how delicious that matchup will be.
Yeah, buddy, I owe Jason Todd a favor, don't I? I mean, what a way to tee up next week on Friday Night Football with South Oak Cliff and Duncanville. Because you're right, I think everybody looks at, okay, Sock's going to challenge themselves at a district because their district is admittedly not very strong. So they're going to go play a bunch of really good teams in their non-district slate, a bunch of 6A teams, North Shore, Duncanville, Longview, 1, 2, 3 to start the season, and challenge themselves. But nobody really expected him to beat North Shore. Nobody really expects him to beat Duncanville. Hey, maybe you might be able to catch Longview. That was a really good game last year, 45-44. But these first 2 games, nobody expected him to win. Now, all of a sudden, you look at next week and go, what's going to happen with that football game? That makes next week look so much fun. And it's 2 statement wins tonight that we have spotlighted in this broadcast by 5A programs. Lone Star with a statement win on the road over Argyle, and Sock with a statement win at home against North Shore, one of the standard-bearing programs in all of high school football, certainly in Texas, but arguably nationally. That's a massive win for Jason Todd's program.
It is great stuff. Great work by you, Mike. Great work, Michelle. And what a fantastic way to kick off our maiden voyage of Friday Night Football, the 5th quarter. So much fun on these Friday night voyages. So much fun under the Friday Night Lights. We appreciate you tuning in. WFAA+, that's the new home where you get the best Friday night football coverage. We hope you can join us next week. We'll be back here at 10:40. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your football weekend, everyone. Have a great night.